秒杀！飞机你怎么在这儿？飞机好强！
Hi Demacia, and welcome back to LPL EN. I'm Frosgrin, joined on the cast this time by Raz, and we're continuing the LPL Expansion Tournament with Day 3 of the action. Raz, how you doing?
Doing really well. How's it going, Frost?
It's going pretty good. I'm excited about this. We've already got 2 teams confirmed for the LPL for next season. We have Vici Gaming and Energy Pacemaker. Now, there are 6 teams remaining in the tournament, but let's just do a quick overcap of how the tournament works. So this is the LPL expansion, so this is going to dictate who is going into the LPL. LPL is expanding from 8 teams to 12, so 4 spots are available. So out of the 8 teams participating in the tournament, 50% of them will move on. Now we have 6 teams left. I believe, DK, World Elite Academy, GAMT, Vici Gaming, Energy Pacemaker, and I'm missing one. Throw it to me, Raz.
Wings of Aurora.
Wings of Aurora, thank you. Your favorite, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we'll just smile and nod, smile and nod. So today we're opening up with Wings of Aurora versus, let me switch over to the bracket actually. Yeah, Wings of Aurora versus DK, so we're in the losers bracket, and then we're also going to be covering World Elite Academy versus GAMT. And then the final game of the day will be the losers of those two in the second tier losers bracket. So today we will know for sure the 4 teams that have qualified for LPL, so 2 more teams can drop out.
Yep, it's really going to be interesting how these teams work out because the theme yesterday was like between Vici and EP was just honestly just the jungle pressure and how the junglers generally ruled the game and the picks and bans. This time around I probably won't be seeing that. Maybe you'll be seeing like Leva getting his Jarvan banned out, maybe just being forced to go on his a little bit his less played champions to say. It'll be interesting how it works out.
Do you have any other expectations going into our initial round, Wings of Aurora versus DK?
Well, as Tasty Nubbins like to call him, Donkey Kong, it's I'm not sure how it's gonna work out. I feel like we've seen a lot of picks out of them this tournament. 100% it feels like Thresh will be the contested pick between both teams, Wings of Aurora and DK, because Sentry and Chen likes to pick that up. Chen does have the Braum to sit on, but it's, in my opinion, it's going to get banned 100% of the time. But for DK, they do like to, right now, they've shown that they love the Jax in the top lane on Banana. It's going to be interesting, because honestly, now they're showing really, new picks since people have seen them, so anything goes.
Anything does go. Can we talk about kind of the upsets while we have some time to fill before we can get the players on stage and get them into picks and ban phase? Young Glory already down and out. So the 2 teams to leave the tournament first are Young Glory and Energy Pacemaker carries. Now, what's important here is Energy Pacemaker carries is the team that had, well, currently Kakao and Rookie sitting on their roster. So with their departure, it means that Kakao and Rookie probably won't be showing in the LPL, at least not on that team.
Yeah, they'll be on the LSPL if everything goes to plan. But yeah, those upsets were kind of interesting because I had Young Glory pegged 100% to get through the groups. I didn't expect the groups to come out, of course, but for the tournament in general, because of course they have Diangun, like everybody's favorite. Like he did play amazingly, but it turned out that of course Vici showed up to be really hot as a team. That team, well, Amy specifically, just played their hearts out, and so did Energy Pacemakers. So, Young Glory, they didn't have a chance. I mean, and of course, no one expected it. Just upsets after upsets, and including Energy Pacemaker carries. Actually, they had surprisingly really solid play. So that group had a lot to show, and unfortunately, Young Glory didn't step up.
So can you cover Vici Gaming with me a little bit, just because I feel that you have a bit more history with the team and knowledge there? They were put together as kind of a pseudo all-star super team in a sense that they combined 2 rosters to make the current one, but right before the expansion tournament, they had a couple of questionable benches, benching 300 and Cherish, I believe.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what happened to Sins as well. A lot of things happened here, and they had their bot lane as Bobo and Moon. Bobo and Moon are not that good in my opinion. They're actually pretty bad.
Wow, you just like
I'm
took off
like
the gloves right there.
I was trying to figure a way out of this one, but it looked like honestly they are a problem on that team, and the way they dealt with that problem was just through 2v1s, I guess, and had like it just worked out for that team. But like Vici showed that their jungler and their top laner carry, who has been on the team for quite some time, just are so proficient, and their synergy is just on point. So they were able to just carry out that game extreme, like that side of the tournament, Group A, really efficiently. And Zun actually did extremely well with his picks. I think his picks were on point. He would play the Xerath along with Amy's Kha'Zix if Lee Sin was banned. He, of course, after that one set, it was banned like since. So yeah, he would have the Kha'Zix pick, and so yeah, Zun would honestly just play that Xerath and have amazing AoE, and of course, you just see the Kha'Zix tearing apart those team fights. So I'm really liking the pick bans from Vici. It works out a lot, I guess, since they're now in the LPL. I believe they qualify. They just have to play the finals. I'm not sure what's happening there.
Nope, yep. Vici Gaming and Energy Pacemaker are already qualified for the LPL.
So Vici, they do have a lot to improve if they're to compete against higher level teams in the LPL. But if just like honestly, they just brought a lot to the table along with Energy Pacemakers. Both teams just have exceptional junglers. Just honestly, that's going to be really refreshing to see with the jungle talent pool that we currently have in the LPL.
So now here comes the other question, since we're already kind of talking about Vici Gaming, Energy Pacemaker in context of LPL. Because there's some, questions going that how will these teams perform against these higher level LPL teams? Is this just a tournament to see who's going to sit on the bottom of the LPL next year? Are we going to see these teams rise to the top or mid-tier teams?
Vici's roster, yeah, they'll. It looks like they'll be a mid-tier, like a bottom-tier team. Like they won't. It's funny because at first I thought Snake was gonna be that bottom-tier team. They're just gonna sit in last place. But with these expansions, I guess Snake is gonna be sitting a bit higher than these teams. Definitely Vici. And as for Energy Pacemakers, I do believe that with their current macro play, the way that they played their games against Vici, that they know how to study against different teams. So I do believe that they can actually probably go into the middle of the brackets, maybe. Like, I mean, middle of the.
But you don't think that there's any diamonds in the rough here that one of these teams is just going to come out swinging and upset everyone in the LPL?
Absolutely not. We won't have like a Cloud9 factor. These teams will just be trying to climb up to the ranks. It's going to be difficult for them.
Okay. With that, we're going to go ahead and switch it over to the stream. We'll pick back up when the players are starting their intros. Thank you, Raz, and we'll speak to you guys soon.
好的，各位观众朋友，下午好，欢迎收看 TGA 大奖赛2014冬季总决赛，我是长毛，
我是米勒，
我是小米。
哇，好久不见的米毛组合，米毛。那么呢，我们要为大家带来的是今天的 B 组 LPL 晋级赛事。还是要跟观众说一下，很多观众问说 LPL， 那我们的那个什么 OMG 呢？怎么没有 OMG？ 这是晋级赛啊，就是说我们要这样 OMG，
就萌萌的，
对，
萌萌的8只，
没有那个是那个引号，有没有引号？
好吧。
那么马上要来进行的是 B 组的赛事哦。我们在第一天的比赛里面呢，打出了 B 组的胜部跟败部。那么我们将要为各位带来的今天第一个 BO3 是败者组的 BO3，输的队伍将直接从晋级赛事里面淘汰。
没错，来自 WOA 对阵 DK， 输的队伍就再也没有机会晋级到今年的 LPL 的春季赛了。
就要再回去 LSPL 再奋斗一季。
这两支队伍刚好是我那天解说过两个队伍，
对的，
一个是跟青训打，一个是跟峰会打。
总体来说评价如何？
评价
就你的
因为
直观感受
两
因为
场都是
两支都
2比0，
是败者，
两场都是2比0，所以也不好评价谁强谁弱。
你这样说好像明白了什么，但还是期待他们今天的表现，因为毕竟是相聚到败者组了，这个时候还是要出点招了。
我回忆一下，我感觉 DK
你
稍
很
微好像
难以启齿。
就我不知道，我现在只有一个，因为两支都是被2比0的队伍，确实像米勒说的有点难比。但是我回忆一下，我可能不知道为什么我的印象是，我觉得 DK 好像稍强一点点的感觉，为什么我不知道。
这是你的第六感是
对，就是我现在回想起来稍稍有这种感觉。好，但是没有关系啊，这两支队伍当然今天就是。
Okay, and we are back. I did say that we're going to come back when we start to do the players' intros, and we are starting with Wings of Aurora. Again, the first match of this best of 3 is going to be Wings of Aurora versus DK. I'm Frosco and joined with Raz, and we're looking at Sentry. Raz, what can you tell me?
Well, Sentry's going to be looking for that Thresh pick, and yeah, and I don't think he's going to be able to get it. It should be banned out most of the time because Chen will be looking for it as well. So, yeah, he's a great player, honestly. He's well decent enough if he's carrying Dream, who is AB. Pretty sure, yeah, he's AB now. I guess he changed his name. Nice name change.
And picks for the 80 carry here?
Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of Tristana. Well, that's how they. It's hard to say now. We saw a lot of Tristana from him during the LSPL. It was a great scaling pick. It worked for the comp, or that they usually ran. That was generally pretty scaling / like protection. Here's Morchid, who is a really good carry. He's actually MVP of the LSPL. He carried his team, and we'll probably see him doing just that, maybe going for his primary Z pick.
Saw the Katarina from him yesterday to a lackluster performance. And speaking of lackluster performance, I really haven't seen a lot of Liva really shine.
Yeah, Liva has never shined, but like he's a solid jungler. He works well for the team. He brings out that J4 or just any utility jungler.
So utility team fight-esque style.
Yeah, definitely. And so I guess the reason why he feels like he's lackluster is because he tries to sacrifice a lot to the team, but I'm not sure if that's because he's giving a lot or if that's all he has to give. So.
And then finishing it up in the top lane, it is going to be Yo-Yo. Now, just observations from the games that we've seen so far of Wings of Aurora. They just seem to fail to act, really. They'll take hard engage tools, the utility, the Jarvan pickup like you talked about, and they just don't really do anything with it and kind of passively lose a situation. Is this, I mean, out of all that you've seen of them in LSPL, Demacia Cup, some third-party tournaments, is this kind of their MO?
Yeah, they'll farm up the lanes, and if they're behind, they'll really just hope for the enemy team to make a massive, mess up rather than trying to create a situation in which they can succeed. And so here we have, it's just how it works for them, I guess. And hopefully they perform, I guess, because I want to actually see something out of this team since they had Mortrid. And here's, Banana from the top laner, DK. He's actually been playing a lot of Jax, is what I've realized, which we have never seen we haven't seen lately, so it's gonna be interesting to see.
I have a couple of Jax pickups in the LPL looking at Cola. But again, this is going to be TK. Now, we are in the losers bracket here. So whoever loses, there's no second chances. They will be the next team to fall out of this tournament. So either Wings Aurora or DK will not continue on after this. In the mid lane, it's going to be, I'm always going to butcher this, Yellow. He is considered the, not star of the team, but kind of the head carry. Not known for his flashy plays, much more team-oriented, but when DK has found success in the past, it's typically on their mid laner's back.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty solidly, so it looks like, of course, it's going to be the real question is how he fares against Mortrid. I'm kind of iffy on that, and if he can actually perform, but we'll find out, and if the team can actually surround him in that sense. And looks like, for an 80 carry, we do have, it's going to be really difficult to say, Fenji
I call him, Finn.
Finn? Yeah, that's actually better. Thanks, it's actually...
He's got a crazy long name.
Yeah, well, at least we have something to call him.
But with that, I mean, who's your favorite going into here? I know that you have more experience with Wings Aurora. DK has really failed to shine in a lot of different events. I know that they weren't favored here. It did kind of favor them a bit. They were on, quote, the weaker side of the bracket, as in Team B or Side B.
Yeah. Yeah, I do favor Wings of Aurora. Team DK had the brackets favoring them in the sense that they didn't have to deal with the powerhouses of the tournament, as I guess it's like I feel like I should probably call them in Group A. But still, if they will struggle, if not against Wings of Aurora, certainly against the loser of the winners of the, I mean the losers of the
losers of the winners of the losers.
Yep.
We're all losers here.
Everyone here is a loser in the end. Well, yeah. Well, this is actually going to be a pretty fun game. I honestly like these teams show a lot of promise. Even if it isn't just a team play, it's the players. And you'll see, like, for instance, even if when you're watching the TGA, like the LSPL tournament, you're like, most of the teams had like very iffy picks, but in the end, you just saw some people really shine through, like Pasa, or of course like the Korean prospects coming in like Kish in the jungle and Bamey, yeah, I forget. Okay, but yeah, like those players really shine through, and so if it doesn't work out for the team, those players will definitely find a place in a better setting, possibly. So yeah, there's a lot coming out of this game. These games, really.
And with that, we are into pick and ban phase again. It's going to be Wings of Aurora on the blue side, DK on the red side. This is the losers bracket. Best of 3 series here, so whoever loses this best of series goes home. And here we go, Rengar and Zed taken off the table. That Zed obviously being looked at by Mortred.
Yeah, Zed, that's his main carry. Like if he's not gonna get it, I guess he's gonna go for possibly another assassin. You have to find out. But yeah, that Rengar is also banned out for yeah, the Little White, I guess he's called, and he plays Rengar and a good Kha'Zix, so looks like we'll have a Kha'Zix contestant. Wow.
We actually have seen a lot of Rengar bans too, but we have not seen a Lissandra ban yet.
That is an interesting one. Maybe they've seen something I haven't. That's gonna be interesting. Maybe it's gonna be going for a plan that they're looking for. But the Nara ban and the Lucian ban, that's gonna be pretty key.
And for contested AD carry so far, I was just about to mention Corki. Corki's been played pretty much every single game this series. Don't know how his picks or his loss and win rate is so far, but definitely a lot of popularity there, especially with the Lucian taken off the board. So we'll see what answer of AD carry DK wants to throw back.
Yeah, 100%. Looks like they're hovering over the thresh break. I'm actually surprised that went through. So we'll find Chen on that champion. Oh, and the Jace. That's actually a really solid laner. Oh, actually, they're gonna just give away the Thresh. No, just kidding. They're just hovering over here.
So obviously with the Thresh, that will be a Sentry takeaway, and of course Maokai, always going to be a highly contested pick for these Chinese teams. They love to team fight. They love the hard engage, except it's a last-second switch to Ezreal.
That
Curious
is a
there.
Weird pick. What? They could have had Maokai.
We've seen an Ezreal mid so far, so we could see something truly bizarre, but with that, Jace is now being looked at by Wings of Aurora. Again, movement speed is very key to these teams that like to team fight and get into position to chase down enemies. I am so kind of sidestruck by this Ezreal swap from a Maokai.
Yeah, they knew that Corki was already, like, that was the first pick. They had no real worry of an Ezreal pick, unless, of course, if Wings of Aurora decided they were going to have the Ezreal mid. But even if that was the case, then they would have Chase in their department. I'm just really confused by that. And Kha'Zix is getting picked up here. This works out for Wings of Aurora overall. Well, okay, let's see what they
Something that does make sense is the Kha'Zix takeaway having the Rengar ban, so that is a double ban against Little White. We'll see where he looks to. It looks like he's going to be looking at the Jarvan here. And the Syndra, so much untapped power.
Yeah, that's a lot of power coming down in the mid lane that Jace doesn't want to face. So, oh, that rhymes. But yeah, it looks like the Jarvan pick has seen a lot from Leva. Leva, I guess he's like extending his horizon, going for the Kha'Zix pick, and I think he's been playing a few Rengar as well. So that's really nice to see him extending. And Janna is a last pick. Haven't seen that in a long time. Usually she's either banned or picked straight away. So, and of course,
Curious that they would choose to pick up Janna and Maokai in the same rotation, because obviously their ults are very different on the scale. Like, typically you would pick up Janna in an answer to a Maokai, because he twisted advance and you Monsoon, you reset the fight. Because obviously if Sentry's not careful with his ultimate, he could really kind of mess up the positioning of Maokai.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea if you have a real sense of team cohesion, if you can really just coordinate when you use your ulties, your ultimate abilities, and then here comes the Jack's last pick. Pretty good idea, I guess. It works out really well. Can probably bully the Maokai once he starts getting ahead. And with the safe bottom lane too, it looks like Jarvan has free reign in the top lane possibly, so it's a nice pick. I'd like to see it coming out.
And we do have everything locked in. This Ezreal will be moving down into the AD carry position. One thing that does stand out to me is the fact that Mordred is taking that Ignite. Is that true to his playstyle of trying to be that hyper carry? Because typically and historically, we've seen Jace run the Exhaust in the mid lane due to the fact that he's going to be building an early tier, won't have those early battle stats, and especially against a Syndra who has the highest single target burst damage in the game, the Exhaust might help him survive his early lane phase of itemization.
I feel like that's just when carries tend to have too much confidence in their own play, because at some point you've got to just respect the champion picks. I remember seeing this out of Golden Glue actually in the expansion tournament, in which he ran Ignite rather than Exhaust.
We got some cross-cultural references here.
Yeah, hopefully it rings through. People can take it and yeah, don't not question me in that sense. But I honestly, just the picks in general, if you're gonna go Jace mid, you're gonna have to understand that you need to scale up and you won't have that damage. So if you're going up against a high burst champion, much like Zed or much like, of course, Syndra, then you will need that exhaust. But we'll see how it works out for him. Possibly, he is an amazing player, so perhaps he can use it in his favor.
We will see as we're about to take the rift again. It's going to be Wings of Aurora versus DK. This is the first game of this best of 3. Whoever loses here is out of the tournament, so no second chances. It's going to be DK on the red side, Wings of Aurora, as Tasty Nubbins likes to say, are the boys in blue.
Oh, taking it home. All right, let's see how it works out here. This is, I feel like, because one big thing to mention here is that Fen will always pick that, or at least lately. No, even in the LSPL, he picks out the very safe kind of AD carry. The Lucian picks, the Ezreal picks, just because he wants to kind of go even in lane. And it gives a lot of free pressure in the in the mid lane and the top lane for the jungler. So we should be seeing quite a bit of team play in the top lane and the mid lane. Mostly because I feel like Mordred is going to have to really take care here, because he doesn't want to see a Jarvan coming at him.
And with that, it doesn't look like either team is going to do something too risky in this first game, just having a 4-point across the river, checking each other out, getting some early trinkets down. We've seen a lot of junglers starting on the top side of the map to allow their bot lanes to get the initial jump on racing for that level 2. And it looks like both junglers, no, actually, Kazakh's swinging around to start a red buff, but Jarvan definitely sitting on that top side.
Yeah, that should give the decent advantage to the Ezreal Thresh lane, but we'll see how it all works out in the end. It's interesting that I actually would have liked to see maybe a 2v1 against the Jax, but...
Looks like they are setting up for a lane swap, though. We do have Sentry and AB kind of hanging around the mid lane, waiting for people to show.
Alright, this will be pretty... Let's see who really shows first, shows their cards. DK's committed to that bot lane Ezreal Thresh, though.
Maokai has shown on the ward. Looks like World Elite. Wings of Aurora. Wow, that happened. Wings of Aurora looking for a delayed invade on this red buff, but they are spotted out by the ward, so Jarvan is just going to go ahead and walk this one out to his other side of the jungle. But that gives the clear that they know that the lane swap is happening.
There we go. Yeah, it's a pretty... I wouldn't say it's a given, but putting the 2v1 against the Jax is going to be a really smart thing to do. It'll stop his ability to really carry, and it really puts Ezreal Thresh in an interesting position, which I guess he can actually go for a tier and maybe hope to scale now that they're in that 2v1. So it could be an adaptation that they want to look for.
We do have something very interesting going on here. It looks like they're going to try to 3-buff by pulling Jarvan's red with 3 members of Wings of Aurora. They were spotted out by the red board as Kazakhs came in, but since he started his red buff, there's really nothing Little White can do here to answer.
Oh god, and we have Banana in the top lane as a Jax, just sitting in the bush. No one's really seeing him, and actually he is spotted out. Not sure not much health is taken down off of him, so he just gets pushed out of the lane. So if that worked out for him, in which he just got free experience, that would have been pretty troubling for Wings of Aurora. But that didn't work out, so he's getting pushed away.
And with that, how do you think this is going to fare? The fact that the Corki Janna decided to swap out against an Ezreal. Corki very much known for his lane dominance.
It's a really good adaptation to just the Jax pick in general. They didn't know that the Jax was coming through, it was just the last pick, but they realized, of course, if they 2v1 the Jax, then they won't have that big of a problem. It's a good trade-off. You trade off Corki's dominance in the lane for just Jax being relevant in the mid game, in which he would generally start just bullying on the
Maokai?
Yeah, the Maokai. God, I was about to say the yo-yo. I was like,
The Duncan yo-yo. No, but we've actually already seen Banana kind of go off on this Jax pick already in the tournament. That said, they are in the losers bracket, so to some mixed success, but he has definitely stepped up for his team as far as his position in this tournament. We'll see if he's able to find that, especially with this 2v1 disadvantage here. Does have the level 2 CS across the board. Pretty close already. I'm actually really surprised that Jace is faring so well early against that Syndra.
Yeah, that's actually pretty surprising. Honestly, I'm kind of confused as to why Thresh... Okay, so Thresh is backing away right now. Oh, no, he's not. He's just... Okay, he's tricking me. But it looks like we might see... Okay, just kidding. Seems like I was going to get away to safety.
They were perhaps posturing for a dive, but I think it was a good read by Little White to know that Banana may be in trouble. Thresh has back, so we'll see if he's going to decide to go up to that top lane and help Jax out for a 2v2, or if maybe he'll just go... Oh, nope, he is heading for that top lane. So this is soon going to be a 4v3 onto this top tower. We'll see if Wings of Aurora can posture the minion wave correctly to look for a dive, but they could find a very scary numbers disadvantage.
Yeah, they're backing away now, but it was something that I was actually really surprised as to why Thresh wasn't there sooner. It would just give them more freedom. Well, it would give
Little White
give Jax more freedom to like farm out. So, oof.
Definitely having that Jarvan tied up there, babysitting Jax, not necessarily where he wants to be, and Thresh is now on the top side of the map. It looks like we may have a 2v2 run-in around Wraith Camp. If you're not going to fight over Wraith Camp, what will you fight for? And it actually looks like they're not going to fight for it. I was so sure that they were going to stand up for what they believed in.
Not today, Frosk, not today. Maybe tomorrow. Live today, fight tomorrow. But it's looking to be a pretty slow fest draw. It looks like, yeah, Jace is doing rather well in the lane. He's able to farm out effectively without having to use too much mana in that matchup. So he has back, should be getting a tier, honestly, and he should be good to go for the rest of perhaps the next couple levels. Yeah, he does get the tier and 2 long swords.
More importantly, Banana has now reached the fact where he has a CS a minute. We got 7 CS on the Jax there at 6 minutes into the game, and more surprisingly though, Maokai is completely even with him on gold and has yet to enter his lane. He has finally walked down there, but pretty much the double jungle keeping him right in.
Yeah, that's working out. He's getting harassed quite a bit, but he should be good to go with his...
Got the sustain on his passive.
Yeah, he should be alright. And the CS is at his tower, so... Yeah, it's really difficult for Ezreal to really put any damage down on him, and so this is a pretty good lane situation that Wings of Aurora has found themselves in.
Now we are onto the patch where Ezreal has the extra buff onto his Q, so seeing a little bit more play from him. Like we said, we've seen him in the mid lane, we've seen him in the bot lane. Typically they've gone blue Ezreal. We'll see if this trend continues with Fen.
Yeah, in the TGA LSPL qualifying tournament, we saw Ezreal so often. It's just like one of those massive picks. We saw him basically as often as you'd see Corki now. It basically, if you found yourselves in a situation in which the lane wasn't working out, then you just ditched the tier entirely. Otherwise, you'd go for it. And Team ME was a team that would... Oh, actually, it seems like... Okay.
They're just saying hi to each other. Everyone's gonna back off away from that, but DK got pretty aggressive there, taking out the pink ward. Continue.
good old Summoner's Rift greeting. But yeah, if you find yourself in a decent situation, like for instance, Team ME was just a team that like loved Ezreal. They'll just pick it into the mid lane, they'll pick it into the bot lane if the matchup doesn't look well for them. It was just something that they love to do, and they'll always pick out the tier. You'll even see a triple tier comp with Ryze, Ezreal, and Chase, and it was just it was something that I love to see, honestly.
Curious that the Chinese teams look for a triple tier comp, especially because it's about ramping late game power and the fact that most of these teams are known for their aggression.
Yeah, it's just a nice strategic, like a refreshing bit of air coming out into the Chinese scene. And we see so much skill, honestly, and team play coming out. Like the TP timing for most of these top laners is just on point, something you wouldn't honestly see from professional teams in like NA or EU, something that people tend to struggle with. So it's a lot of competition going on right here in the LPL. Maybe it seems like the LPL coming up is going to be possibly best form of competition.
You didn't
Fingers
hear it
crossed.
from me first, but shots
Fingers
fired.
crossed.
But so far, we do have the 2v2 swap back, so it is going to be that Corky Jana facing across from Ezreal Thresh now in the bot lane. Meanwhile, top lane, Jax and Maokai are finally getting a taste of each other, and Jax is starting to pull away a little bit in the CS. Does have the wave push in Maokai, so it actually should be closer than on first inspection here. But so far, 9-minute game, no first blood.
Wow, this is quite the slow game. Teams are
And
teams are
Gamtee is not even playing.
I know, right? Teams are taking it pretty easily, and it looks like now that the 2v2s are... Oh, actually, we might have a Syndra coming into the bot lane. That's going to be interesting to see.
Looking
It
for the
has- not
Roman.
really
Now it's all
right?
about the Flay. AB flayed up. There goes the Valkyrie. The flash forward doesn't connect with Scatter the Weak, but nice burn of Summoners on that bot side. We'll see if they're able to punish, and DK will maybe look for a reach around.
Yeah, hopefully we might... Yeah, Mortrid is pushing out the lane. He's able to maybe farm out... Actually, he's going to look to...
I think just to reset the wave back and grab some itemization. Again, the fact that Jace is so weak early game.
Yeah, and it's really important for them to get some form of vision control in the dragon area, just so that doesn't happen again. And of course, we might see a dragon fight possibly, just because it is 10 minutes into the game. Teams are ramping up, and they want to they're starting to get their core items set. And I do think that this is the time for DK to maybe make a move, but it looks like Wings of Aurora might be positioning for a gank in the mid lane.
I feel like Wings of Aurora would be a little bit sketch on that gank in the mid lane. The fact that Syndra is about to come up onto another power spike to level 9 due to her passive, the fact that she has her ultimate available. Again, because she's facing off against a Jace, Jace does not find a power spike at level 6 like every other champion in the game, just due to the nature of his kit, whereas Syndra, of course, gets that massive power spike. So I think it was a good move there for Wings of Aurora to back off and to let that one go.
Yeah, it's a bit countless of how many times Syndra has turned a gank around just for a trade. It's something, it's really scary to see, but, well, Jax is just pushing up the top lane rather well, and he is at a 10 CS advantage. I'm not sure if it would have been larger if he was in that 1v1 the entire time, so that 2v1 maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. It's hard to tell, actually.
We'll see how he's able to ramp up and maybe punish this Maokai as it goes on further, but Maokai decently tanky now. Liva does find a ward, as well as no death sentence, but the Lantern comes in. They found the Scatter Leak, but they're not going to commit onto it. Mortrid, of course, standing in Fog of War behind them, so don't want to play with that quite yet. But again, coming on 11 minutes, 21 seconds into this game, no Dragon contested, no First Blood. Very, very slow pace. Typically, this is a set or a game that we would see from maybe the last game in a series, but the fact that they're doing it in the first.
Yeah, both teams are really respecting each other's comps to bring it lightly. They don't want to really get caught out, because the first team to get caught out, it will get snowballed quite heavily. Both teams have snowballing comps. If Kha'Zix gets a kill, he'll get rolling. If Syndra gets a kill, then God save us all. It's something it's a situation you don't want to find yourself in.
As far as backs, we are starting to see some of the key items come out, particularly that Sheen on that Ezreal will help him out. We do have the Phage now completed in the top lane, so Jax has a bit of chasing potential now on an elongated, curved lane like that.
And we do actually, we do have the tier on Ezreal, so he'll get scaling as well as Wings Aurora's Jace. So both teams are kind of waiting on their tiers to stack up. It might be a longer game depending on how much they feel like they rely on both carries. So Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. Likewise, we do have Syndra looking for the Hourglass, has the Seeker's Arm Guard completed. We'll see if she continues with that and goes for the Needlessly, or if she now focuses. Actually, there we go. Has the completed Hourglass. Pretty early in the game, actually, especially because there's no assassins on the enemy team other than that Kha'Zix.
Yeah, I guess she didn't really feel threatened in the sense that she needed any like mana regeneration. So this is a perfect time. This is actually a really great time to go for a dragon contestation because of that massive like just the item spike, and now she has quite an advantage over Jace if a fight were to happen. So I don't see a reason not to go for it.
Does have the Mana Moon completed. We'll see when he gets those tier stacks ready for him. Should be around the 20-25 minute mark, as well as the Brutalizer does not have the boots, but is a decent power spike as far as contesting objectives because he has a decent poke advantage right now. But in the mid lane, here we go. Scatter the Weak into a Cataclysm. Mortar just going to flash out of that, say hello, thank you, walk away.
Flash down on the Jace though, so that's going to be pretty key. Something to take note of if they were to go for a dragon fight, but they did lose out the Jarvan ultimate, so back and forth I guess, and Leva's going into the bot lane.
We'll see if he finds the Lantern in the stealth, but Sentry now under half health. Here comes the teleport. Leva now jumping in, getting involved in the backside of that. Oh, and Jax picks up the first blood from behind with a nice teleport. Now it's Yo-Yo in the middle of them as Jarvan gets involved. Leva does manage to flash the flag and drag, but now AB in a little bit of trouble. Leva does pick up one, gets caught out by a phosphorus bomb shortly before AB falls, and now it's DK with the numbers advantage turning towards that dragon. Eat a nice shock blast on their way there, but I don't think it's going to deter them.
Yeah, they're gonna go and try and get it. That was a perfect teleport from Jax. Jax just tore that team apart, and it was beautiful to see. It looks like they've got a problem. Like Wings of Aurora has a problem on their hands. They have to deal with fed Jax, not even fed, but now he's gonna get rolling. It's something they definitely didn't want to see. He's gonna be able to get his Trinity Force after maybe even just one wave. He has all the components.
Definitely a big power spike as far as the ingredients right there. It was Ezreal that picked up the dragon, so DK on a 3-kill swing with the global objective now have a 2k lead in fire of their favor at 15 minutes into this game. So we'll see what the next area of contention is, but have a feeling we're going to see the laners go back to their lanes. Again, continue to ramp up because we have a lot of late game scaling components.
Yeah, both teams are really, it's kind of like catch-22 in that sense, because Wings of Aurora right now, they've had a poor fight. They want to go like really commit to the late game because they feel like that's where...
Hold on a second though, because here comes Leva. Yo-Yo does have the ultimate popped. He's 1v1ing the Jax, but now Banana in a lot of trouble. Who are they going to try to pass the kill? Will he be able to trade 1-for-1? Nope, there's the tower, and it is going to Leva picking up that kill, but the flash was forced.
Okay, that was really, really, really difficult to kill that Jax, but you know what? It was worth it at the end of the day. The tower does help out. That's always a nice thing to have, you know, just to kind of buff up that damage. But yeah, they needed to deal with that Jax, and of course now he just went back and was able to finish off his Trinity Force. So I don't know how they're gonna deal with him.
Also loses quite a bit of CS as they did push out that wave into the tower, so Maokai trying to find a little bit of breathing room right there, does not have his Rod of Ages completed by the 15-minute mark, so a bit of a delay in the power spike for Maokai as this game continues forward.
Yeah, as I was saying, Wings of Aurora will want to really stick and commit to the late game, just to see, unless if they find a really key team fight, because the longer this game goes on, the stronger their poke will be. Corki might start to ramp down, but Jace will just like take over in that sense.
Technically, we see kind of the two different styles of compositions. We have a siege poke comp versus a pick comp. So how would you think this is going to favor as this game goes on?
Well, actually, it looks like they're going to be forcing down this tower, but yeah, DK will probably find more success if they were to hold the vision control. DK will probably look towards really taking control of the dragon around the 25-26 minute mark, while really taking control of the dragon area, well, the next time it comes up, and not simply because they want the dragons, they'll be wanting the picks. If they get control of that area, they might be able to bait something out.
So wave manipulation for Wings of Aurora versus objective control on DK here.
Yeah.
We will see how this snowballs, but hold on a second, because Leaving now pulled into the box, but Jace completely deletes Jarvan from the fight before the ultimate is even able to go down. Actually, I think he got the initial burst damage from it before dying. Thresh now following after. Syndra might be in a little bit of trouble. Fawn by the Corki. There's the Hourglass. Jace goes down. We'll see if Syndra can maybe trade 1 for 1. Finds the Scout of the Week. Gets a 2 for the Jax. Jax now involved Banana. Going into the backline, it's Maokai versus Janna, but Banana is not backing off. Now has a hold of Yo-Yo. Will they be able to walk this one out? They have the Janna passive as well as the NATO. And it looks like they are going to disengage effectively.
Okay, all right. I was starting to. Oh, wait a second. It looks more like more poke is gonna come out from the Ezreal. Kind of, yeah. Nothing really happening for them, but yeah, Banana is just starting to ramp up. He's just seeing every fight that comes by, and he's just gonna take a kill that comes like a kill or two, and he's just gonna get stronger and stronger. And well, Rod of Ages is coming out of Yo-Yo, but it's. I don't want to say it's too late. But Jax is just going to be taking control. He might even take out the tower, possibly.
Well, Jax definitely has his power spike right now with the completed Trinity Force, whereas that Rod of Ages is going to need 10 minutes to ramp up just due to the passive of the item.
Yeah, and they do get up the tower in the top lane, so that's a lot of pressure coming down there. It's really looking bleak for Wings of Aurora, unless, of course, if they can get more fights like that, but with without the...
Oh, hold on here, because here comes that pick. They have the Ward of the Wall. Who will they go for there? Oh, doesn't even lock up anyone with the Flag and Drag, but he gets 2 members with Scout of the Week. Doesn't look like they're going to commit onto it in a True Shot Barrage. Just to kind of slap him in the behind, say, we're watching you.
All right, that was a great idea, bad execution. Pat on the back, Jarvan. It was a good idea. It was fun to imagine that working out, but...
Imagine.
I like to imagine a world in which Jarvan knocked at least one of them up.
And where Jarvan hits every Flag and Drag.
Yeah.
Coming on 19 minutes and 10 seconds into this game, we do have the Dragon spawning in 121, so this surely will be the next big point of contention for this team's. 4-6 in favor of DK. They're starting to run away with it a little bit with a 5k gold advantage.
Yeah, this game is definitely not looking good for Wings of Aurora, and both teams do have scaling compositions, but like, of course, one team is scaling a little bit too fast, and they'll be able to force their kind of gameplay. And let's just see if they decide to do it, because with the beginning of the game they were a little bit too passive, didn't want to really force whatever advantage they had. So I hope that they decide that they're gonna do something with it. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Next dragon is coming up in 40 seconds, so.
Definitely are still looking quite passive. We saw Liva was standing in the background, possibly looking for a stealth entrance into that bot lane. Doesn't find it. AB just going to farm this one out, 153 to 190 in favor of Ezreal right now. So 40 CS disadvantage, and definitely starting to see that come out in the itemization. Trinity Forces both completed, but a Muramana versus a Longsword Doran's Blade.
I don't know, those are 2 blades, 2 swords. I'm a bit afraid of that. Okay, so
you gotta think of how much storage room Corky's got in that little plane. I think it's got cup holders. I hear that that's a big part of it, is the cup holders. Like, that's the real seller.
I mean, everybody loves the cup. It's all about the size of the cup holders. It has to be pretty big, like movie theaters big, because, like, I mean, how long...
Oh, will he get it? No.
Okay.
That said, Jarvan is 0 for 2 right now in these smites. The first one went down to Ezreal, the second one went down to Banana, so...
How did Banana get the last hit on that? Did he have smite up? I'm not going to question
Jack Smite's the new thing.
He's just like...
With that, Wings of Aurora does find a mid lane wave. See if they're going to contest for this. Scout of the Week is going to force them all off.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for it with how much pick they have. That's a lot of scary on that one team. Syndra Thresh, that's... yeah, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, Meanwhile, Banana in the bot lane, he is starting to become a big problem. I don't think that there's any tools right now to duel him 1v1, but we'll see if they can maybe do 2v2 as he dives the bot lane. Does pick up the Corki right now. He will possibly fall here. Oh, barely will the slow on the sapling find him. He's too fast. Those blue suede shoes as he leaps to safety. Finds the 1v1 under tower on Corki and runs off with his life. Banana, 5, 2, and 1 right now.
You know, cool Jaxes don't look at explosions. That was ridiculous. He took down that Corki and ran away with his life, and at the same time, it looks like a really early Baron.
It is being pinged out, however, by Wings of Aurora, so they smell something fishy, which causes DK to completely back off, and I would say that's a good call since Jarvan is 0 for 2 on any of these smites. Don't want to risk that one, especially with Leave in the area.
You really have to give it up to his confidence there. He's ready to call for any objective regardless of the reality of his ability to smite. So it's one of these days he'll get it. He will. He believes in himself.
But with that Baron call, DK finds themselves out of position. Wings of Aurora finally picks up their first tower, the mid-tier tower, at 22 minutes, 30 seconds into this game right now.
Ooh, this game is looking... I mean, this is a really good thing for Wings of Aurora. They're able to find these... Like, this is their first tower pick, I guess, and they found them kind of off guard, but... What is this Ezreal doing? He does have red buff, so he should be able to really win out this exchange if it does happen, but no. Dream is backing out. Should I call him Dream still, or I should probably call him AB? Or Ab. Ab. He has one Ab.
He's got the washboard abs.
Yeah.
Again, I always imagine Corki, like, he seems so small, but I just imagine he would stand up out of his plane, he'd be like 8 feet tall, just like jacked.
Oh my god, that's actually really fun. I need to like look out for artwork just because I'm pretty sure.
I think I've seen a video where Victor and Twisted Fate kind of shoot Corki down, and he gets out of his plane, and he just goes full Bruce Lee on them, just like runs them down.
That should be his like passive, kind of like how Scion right now just runs at people. Like if you take Corki down,
If his plane goes down, he just plus 200% movement speed.
He just runs at you.
Wow, speaking of movement speed, Banana is caught out by a ward right there, trying to be a little bit cheeky. Just running. Look at the amount of resources that Wings of Aurora has to dictate to him to keep this Jax under control.
Oh my god, yeah, and he's TPing in as well. They really do want this Baron. They should be, yeah, they should be able to get it. I'm not sure about the fight afterwards, but oh, are you kidding me, Leva?
Oh, Leva! Oh! Completely fails it. Jumps into the Baron pit with the flash after missing his jump and just dies. But right now, Wings of Aurora just trying to pick people apart, try to kill off these Barons. Scatter the Weak hits 3 members. DK now being forced out. Yo-Yo trying to get involved in the backline, but here comes the washboard abs as he Valkyries onto that Ezreal, picks it up. Will he turn around for the multiple kills? There's 1 potato, 2 potato. Will Jarvan get over the wall? Finds the Cataclysm. Into a Descendants of the Chain CC, and DK manages to walk away with 2 Baron buffs and finds an ace.
That shouldn't have happened. I'm trying to... Okay, I want to give Leva some credit. I feel like what he was trying to do was trying to, like, jump just over the pit and, like, try and smite, but not really commit to going over the wall. But I don't know. I don't know if I should give him that much credit. I think we should just look at the replay. Okay. I don't think that's true at all, actually. I think he just missed his jump. I don't know. But yeah, that's what...
Putting on a little bit of weight right there, was not able to make it over that wall.
Yeah. But yeah, Yo-Yo played a massive factor in this fight, but got chunked out by the Ezreal, and Ezreal did a lot of damage, actually, to both of these characters. But he did die out to Corki. Had Corki really kind of committed to the 2 in the backline, the Syndra and Thresh, they probably would have gotten a better result, but...
Beautiful chain CC from the Scatter the Weak into the Descendants. I think that really kind of capped that off for DK. But so far, most of the Baron buffs down, only 2 of them survived onto that Syndra and the Thresh. Great performances from both of those players. But Banana right now in the bot lane, tying up 3 resources of Wings of Aurora.
Yep, he's really just creating a form of, like, just so much pressure, like an absolute, like, too much pressure, actually. Like, he got
so much untapped pressure.
So much untapped pressure. That needs to be his new saying right there. But yeah, like, what are you gonna do against him? How are you gonna deal with him? Not a single one of Wings of Aurora's champions are gonna be able to deal with him 1v1. So they're gonna have to allocate more than one champion to him, and that will just give them free objectives. Like right now, they're looking towards going for a dragon that should be up in 20 seconds.
Yep, and coming on to 26 minutes and 22 seconds into this game, 7-12 in favor of DK. Almost have a 10k gold advantage. They are 2k short right there, so definitely starting to run away with this. I don't know if the Siege comp Wings of Aurora has going really has much gas left in the tank. We do have a couple of itemizations coming out. Oh, hold on though, because DK's setting up for a peek. Find a Scatter the Weak. Will they commit to it? There goes the Cataclysm onto Sentry, but resets that. Doesn't matter because it's going to be that Syndra that finds another kill in her pocket. 5-0-5 right now. Has the Hourglass, Athenes, and Void Staff already completed.
This is actually such a smart plan from DK. They're really making Jax, like, they're basically going. They're telling Jax to split push whatever lane is the opposite to whatever
The
objective
objective.
they're looking for. Yeah. So if they send someone to go stop Jax, then they look for a pick or they get the free objective. It's just a rinse and repeat kind of method, and it's working out for them so far with a 10k advantage. So, whew, DK, it's looking all right. Donkey Kong.
DK now looking at trying to siege this inner mid-tier tower. They do not have the Cataclysm available for the dive, so it's all going to be about the Scout of the Week and the Ezreal poke. Banana trying to get in there and approach the tower to start putting down some damage. Will Wings of Aurora look for the engagement here? They do have the Maokai Ultimate and Twisted Advance available.
But like this is like Ezreal has so much freedom in like putting damage on that tower just because of his essence flux. Like he can just get out if he feels like he's in any danger. It's a smart idea. Jax is split pushing the bot lane as usual. I shouldn't really be calling it out anymore, but just because of
There's the Scout of the Week onto Mortrid into a death sentence. Tries to flash away but loses his life anyway. That is one gone and a massive wave clear out of Wings of Aurora.
This game just feels like it's out of Wings of Aurora's hands. They can't do much. The Jax pick is just crushing down on them. They have the Jax pick and of course just the pick comp that we have from DK and the other four. So they need to do something. They really need to find an entry into this game. They need to make like a bold plan. If it's either like allocating a lot into killing the Jax or just forcing a team fight in the mid lane without him. So.
With that, DK now storming through the inhibitor tower. Will they find the line? Leva getting locked up by the flag and drag explodes underneath the Cataclysm. But it is going to be Banana that picks up the kill. Banana now counter-striking, flashing into the back line of Wings of Aurora. Is going to get deleted by Mortrid. Maybe Wings of Aurora finding a second wind here as they push into DK. DK not taking their chances, don't want to break that inhibitor line, do have the tower, but they are going to go ahead, Scout of the Week, and disengage from this fight. Baron up in 140.
Good news for DK is that Jax did die, just before the Baron buff, so they have time to really set up for it still. So it's going to be definitely something to watch out for. Right now they should. Wait, actually, it looks like they're clearing out the top lane with that Ezreal ulti. That's a pretty good idea. They can back out once they get their whatever items they have. Yeah, Ezreal right now is sitting on his Muramana, so that's really solid for them.
Definitely a lot of big power spikes coming in here. Do you think we're going to see some pressure points created and another Baron contestation, or if they're just going to walk straight down mid for the inhib?
We're definitely going to see a lot of Baron, like a Baron contestant, just because DK just really wants a pick, and that's the perfect way to get it. They're going to really want to clear out the courts that are currently in and around the pit. They should look forward to that, and just to see if they can get a pick going with Thresh or the Syndra. It's been working for them lately, so there's no reason to stop.
And with that, Syndra is going to go ahead yellow, picking up his blue buff there. Baron will spawn in 30 seconds. Expect to see DK back by and starts posturing and setting up for this.
It looks like Jax is already posturing around that area. He is...
Doesn't want to show until his team's in position.
Yeah. Yep, there we go. They start moving around the Baron pit, and he starts split pushing the top lane. Or at least just pushing that lane down.
Now both teleports are available. We'll see how they're used for this upcoming fight, although I feel like it's just going to be a walk to this Baron pit. DK moving in, getting complete control of vision, so see if we can set up for a pick right here.
Uh-oh, they're going for it, actually. They should have been a little bit more patient, but let's see how it works for them. They can maybe start a fight.
Baron getting burned down about 25% of its HP, but they are going to step off, look for the Scout of the Week, does not connect on anything. DK getting a little impatient, actually backing off from this. Banana now heading down to the bot lane. Again, does have the teleport available, so we'll see how Yo-Yo is going to match up with him down there.
They had the pink wards. They could have waited a little bit more, because that was definitely could have got Leva off with that one.
Standoff here. We'll see if Mortrid's able to lay down any sort of poke. Wings of Aurora coming in and taking back control of this area with the vision. Again, Banana's not there with them, creating a pressure point in the bottom map, so lost a lot of power there. That is a very fed, very powerful Jackson, very key component of DK's composition right now.
But it looks like they're backing away. This is such an interesting situation. Like, DK has the power. Jax is just going to continue to split push, and if when Wings of Aurora needs to commit to something, they're gonna possibly go for the Baron. They're gonna really have to rush it if they. Oh my god!
Here comes the teleport, but the ward is completely destroyed. A Scatter the Weak does stall them out.
Ooh, that was a lot of damage being put down on that Janna. They really lost a lot of pressure off of that one. She's gonna have to back in. This could be a good time for DK to maybe start something up, possibly. Nope, they're just gonna posture around this Baron a little longer.
This is effectively a one-pick game in favor of DK. Now, if Wings of Aurora did manage to take this next team fight as this Baron is being started up, can they do anything with it?
Ooh, here comes, well, not exactly, but I think off of picks and fights. Oh my god.
Baron's burning down quickly. Leva gets just chunked right there, completely loses the ability to try to make in for the steal, but Yo-Yo is now into the back line with the Maokai ult, not doing much for his team as Wings of Aurora is just getting pushed around in and out. DK picking up kills left and right, find one. Corki does return, but it is now 4 versus 3, and Leva up, make that 4 versus 2. AB trying to Valkyrie over on the side, finding the 1v1, just gets demolished by Syndra from over the wall, and DK marching down mid lane for a 4 for 1.
Yeah, that's exactly what they were looking for. Getting the Baron is one thing, but getting a pick and starting a fight that was like, it was definitely in their favor. That's another. And these tornadoes are just stopping them, but it won't do much. They do get the one inhib. They'll probably look for the Baron, or it's probably a smart thing to do for them right now, actually.
Did have a wave behind them, but they are not going to go ahead and pressure the end for the game here. Like you said, turning back for that Baron should be a quick and easy burn, especially with Banana so big right now. Leva's death timer is at 3 seconds. There's no way that this Kha'Zix will get in position for the steal, but we actually do see Janna racing over.
Can we see a tornado?
This Baron is burning down pretty quickly. Don't think John is going to be able to do anything right there. Sentry won't be the carry for the team. Baron goes down. Second Baron for DK, and they are running away with this game. Almost a 20k gold advantage in favor of them. We are going to get a replay of that last team fight. Raz, walk us through it.
Yeah, Yo-Yo goes in for all that damage mitigation, but it doesn't matter. Jax goes in for the fight to just solo kill whoever he was on, actually. Wings of Aurora just finds themselves split up. There we go. He gets the kill on Syndra. I mean, it's just Syndra. What am I talking about? But yeah, this team fight did not work out for them at all. Jace died way too early. It was just he couldn't do anything against the Jackson.
But we are now back into it, and back into it. Banana getting deleted by 4 members of Wings of Aurora. They finally find probably their first pick at the game. Big strong point down right there. Don't know if they're going to be able to execute anything off of it, but they may get their first dragon actually.
Yeah, this will be a really good idea. I'm glad to see that Wings of Aurora decided they were going to commit to an idea. Oh my god, the Ezreal ulti. Alright, he's dead. But still, it was a good thing.
No scope.
No scope. 360 no scope. Yeah, I didn't see that one. But yeah, it's just like they really needed that. That was something they should have done so long ago, in which they could have just committed to an ideal. They did too much pussyfooting. They didn't go into the bot lane.
Is that a technical term?
It is. I'm pretty sure I heard that before. So if I'm
it's a technical League of Legends term.
It's just they should have committed to something so much sooner, but it looks like they're doing it where honestly it's way too late. They didn't commit to a team fight when Jax was not there to stop the split pushing, and they didn't commit to killing Jax to once again just like stop the split pushing or just like any team pressure. This is just DK's game. They're forcing whatever they want down their throats, and down goes Janna.
Eats the unstoppable force. Excuse me, not unstoppable force, untapped power. Wow, I'm thinking Malphite here. We got the Syndra in the game as DK finds us double Scout of the Week into a Flag and Drag, into a 420 YOLO no scope. Yo-Yo has his ult pop, but it really means nothing for his team at this point as DK just runs through Wings of Aurora. Like you said, this game is surely over as they will walk to victory. Syndra does fall down to a nice shock blast from Mortrude, but too little too late as he is the last member standing as DK knocking on the Nexus doors.
This has been quite the game. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Jax ban here, because this is his third time playing it, and he's been really, really successful. I mean, he lost last 2 games, obviously, but like that's just his style, and it's just like if you get him running, he won't stop. Like he literally won't stop. He'll just keep split pushing a lane. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that game.
First game goes over to DK. Again, this is a best of 3, so Wings of Aurora still have plenty of chances to come back, but it is game, set, and match for Donkey Kong, as we like to call them here. We'll see if they can continue forward to try to qualify for the LPL. I am Frostgrin as your play-by-play caster tonight, joined with Raz. We'll be right back.
哦，我的宝贝，防护声劲不要太大，胆子小的都退下，免被吓掉裤衩儿。说好的队长不是真男人吗？为什么是你别逗我了，好吗？纯爷们儿才死，请问你怕还是不怕？一声不吭。